Hi everybody, 860 Cologne here with another fragrance video with a guest, Steven from Redolessence.
How's it going, Jason?
Excellent. Such a pleasure to finally meet you in person.
Likewise.
We've been hanging out together here at Brooklyn Fragrance Lovers Place. Carlos, he's in the corner doing some stuff on the computer. But this is a little idea that I had to review some of the more prominent and just anybody who's a fragrance reviewer, some technical questions and some fragrance questions. So, hope you're game.
That sounds like a great idea.
All right.
Yeah, so thank you for the opportunity. That sounds awesome.
No problem. All right. First question.
Okay.
What is your first memory of watching YouTube fragrance reviews?
Oh, wow. Okay. My first memory, it must have been back in either 2011 or 2012. And I was looking for a new fragrance that I could purchase for myself, presumably one that would get me a lot of compliments and I did a Google search which redirected me to YouTube, and I came across this gentleman. His real name is Miguel, but he had a YouTube channel called Hero Rizuka. And in that video, he was talking about fragrances like Chergui by Serge Luton, Duro by Nasamato, L'air du Desert Marocain. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what are these brands? I've never heard of these fragrances before. I mean, my Gucci, my Chanel, my Dior. And then I went on Lucky Scent. I bought a ton of samples, and I've never looked back since.
How many bottles did you have before that video?
About 30.
Oh, really? So you were already in the game.
Yeah.
You were heavily in the designer game.
You know, all throughout high school, I used to wear a ton of fragrances.
Oh, okay.
Like in high school, I would wear Pai by Givenchy, Paco Rabanne Forum, and I had about 30 bottles, even in high school. Yeah.
Do any of those still stay today?
A lot of them are pretty good. There are a few that have turned. There's one in particular, it's called Kenzo Poron, and it smells like a permanent marker.
Oh.
Yeah, I cannot even spray it, it's terrible.
Oh, really? Next question.
Okay.
This is more on the technical side of how you do your videos.
Okay.
What equipment do you use?
Oh, okay. So it's video, audio, and lighting. For lighting, I use pretty inexpensive umbrella lighting.
Oh, okay.
I purchased it on Amazon, I want to say for maybe $50 or so. In terms of audio, it depends on whether I'm shooting on my own or if I'm shooting with a group. If it's a group, I use a condenser microphone, which also rather inexpensive on Amazon, or I'll use a lavalier mic.
And what program do you use to record? Does the Android app just automatically?
So if it's a vlog, I use an app on my phone called Viva Video. For I want to say 90% of my videos, I use Windows Movie Maker. In some instances, I've used iMovie, and if I really want to spruce it up, I'll run it through Windows Movie Maker first. I know it sounds a bit tedious, and then I'll put the finishing touches in Sony Vegas Pro.
Have you made? We know you changed the room that you normally do your videos in.
Yeah.
Did you do any different things to the room, like put pillows in the corners for the sound or anything like that, to like enhance that, or?
You know, that's one thing that I haven't really thought about, and I know it would be ideal. My brother also has a YouTube channel, and he's gotten insulation all around his room. I haven't done that.
But with the condenser mic, with the lav mic, it helps so much to take out the ambient noise.
It's like a night or day difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got one here, and we're trying it out without it being on, me or him, and we've got an air conditioner over there, but it should be okay.
Yeah, it does wonders. It really does.
How long does it take to make a video? Like, do you have anything, like, for me, back when I first started, a minute of video would take an hour. Between, like, writing, editing, and all that kind of stuff. It was like an hour per minute.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to factor in here, I think, and a lot of people at home probably don't realize how long it takes. It's first you have to do the research on the fragrance, see if you want to buy it, and then you have to make the trip to Macy's or Sephora or Nordstrom. And then you have to buy it and wear it for like a week, and then closely monitor your hand, and is it projecting, is it lasting? And then, of course, it's getting in front of the camera, the multiple takes. Sometimes you get lucky, you do it in one take. And then it's the editing, which could take about an hour. And then you have to wait for it to rasterize or whatever, which could take another. Yeah, exactly. And then it's uploading it to YouTube, all the metadata, and then if you're going to promote it on like Blogspot or Facebook. So honestly, it takes such a long time.
And doing just the thumbnails and those pictures and stuff like that while it's rendering. Yeah. Do you have a perfect length of your videos? Like, do you want to keep them in a certain time frame?
That's a good question too. Well, I think back in the day, for the YouTube algorithm, it used to be all about audience retention. And now it's all about minutes watched. So ideally, I would like to make longer videos. But when I was looking at my analytics, I saw that probably the average amount of the video that gets viewed is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, and I'm sure you know this, I used to do videos that were like 15, 20 minutes long. And I realized that only 5 minutes of those 20-minute long videos were getting watched. So I said to myself, why am I putting all that extra work in? So since then, I have tried to condense the videos, and I'm only hoping that they get watched from start to finish. But what do you think about that? I'm curious. I'm always curious to know what other YouTubers do in that event.
I've noticed the same thing with the audience retention and how much they watch. I was going way over that.
Yeah.
And it was disheartening because it was so much work. And also, as a person who watches the videos, it can be like, oh my God, 30 minutes, what do I do? But I will say, I was telling this before, I sometimes drive to Cleveland from where I live. It's about an hour and a half. So I load all these videos up in my phone on YouTube Red, and I would listen to them. I wouldn't really watch them as I'm driving, but that's what I would do. So I used to love getting the longer videos and doing that. But I will say you are fantastic at, I can't believe, do you write a script?
I don't know.
Man,
no.
I don't know how he does that. It's amazing.
I mean, I do spend a lot of time on Fragrantica. So, of course, huge thank you to Fragrantica. I mean, it's...
Do you have notes?
I don't, no.
See, I could not do that.
I try to commit as much of it to memory as I can. We have Carlos giving me direction off screen. But occasionally, we will write down certain things. For example...
have to reference it.
Yeah.
At some point or another, just to see what we're saying.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We just did a video, all three of us, and I don't think he even looked it up, but he just rattled off the notes and different facts about the fragrance that I would have never known. So just like going, okay, that's awesome. I don't know how you have that memory. My brain is stuck with opera, rolls, and fragrances, but not the individual notes.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Looking back on your old videos,
Okay.
if you could change one or two things, or what makes you cringe when you watch those things?
Okay. In all honesty, I think I spoke very confidently about some fragrances, and I wouldn't say I would change that because at the moment I really believed it, you know. And I guess looking back on what I know now, I probably would have had a different narrative or a different dialogue about it. But there's so many things I would change. I would change the format. I would change how I spoke about the fragrance. I would change the lighting, all of the equipment and all that stuff. And I didn't realize how it really goes a long way, just having proper lighting or having an external microphone source. And, I wish I had that. Or having a cat. Yeah, just a companion.
And I've noticed that in my early videos, I said and you know all these lip smacking things. We tend to think that we have to fill dead space with some kind of audible sound, but we really don't.
Right.
And I think that's one of the main things I tell YouTube reviewers that are just starting out. You don't have to fill space. You can have a pause of a few seconds, and it's better than going, you can have a pause, that's the main thing that I get, because
so many offenders, you know.
But you're so good, because I think it's part of your job, you know, being in front of people and being articulate, and it's almost like training a muscle to be able to do that. It's just like being on stage. It's just like learning a new role. Anything is kind of like this go as you go, trial and keep on getting better at it.
Well, thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate that. I've noticed that in the earlier videos, I would use words like like, actually, all of these filler words that give you time to think.
Yeah.
And
my one right now is now. I almost start every sentence with now. I was like,
oh yeah, you do.
God, why do I keep
But
on
I like
doing
that
Wow.
though.
What?
I never noticed that.
Oh,
Like, I noticed actually and
come
so.
closer. If you're gonna
Every
comment,
I
come
told
closer.
you actually and so. We always start.
Yeah, so was another one, yeah. Is there a certain video that you did that got a reaction that really surprised you? Good or bad?
Yeah, there were a lot. I think when I first started with fragrance reviews, there was this notion that if you had an exclusive review or a fragrance that other people hadn't reviewed, that you somehow had the upper hand. And I remember when I was first starting off in the niche realm, I would go to New York and all these stores on the East Coast, and I would buy all of these obscure niche fragrances. And I remember one time I bought a Keiko Macheri fragrance called Fleur de Peau, and it was a really nice fragrance, a little bit floral and kind of animalistic. And I went home and I reviewed it, and I was just like waiting there in front of the computer, like, wow, people are gonna watch. And I got maybe like 100 views in like a week, and I was like, yeah, this is
no one knows it.
Yeah.
It's
So I can't tell you how many of those videos I've had, but I learned.
one thing I found also is that time doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We need to stop, coming back after you've been away for a while. Say, I'm sorry I've been away for so long. 6 months down the road, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No one's keeping track of oh, it's been so long. Just go and do your stuff.
Just do it, yeah. Or even if you say, I apologize, I'm not
Yeah.
going to be able to make videos for a month.
Right.
It's just a month.
Or just put it in the description.
Yeah.
No need to take up a whole minute of your time saying, "Oh, I was gone. I was doing this." Nobody cares.
Yeah. It's true.
Unless you're Peter, and you're off doing scuba diving in
Oh, we love Peter. Fragrance for you.
all these countries that are just amazing.
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any wish lists in your mind for future videos that you know of right now, like fragrances you want to do, or even a change in your setup or anything like that?
Oh, wow.
Or equipment.
That's a good question. I always want to review the newer fragrances, just because I know there's a need for that. Like, it just hit the market. People want to know what's out there, what's good, what's worth buying, what's not worth buying. So recently, my friend and I here have acquired Chanel's Gabrielle, Pure Excess by Paco Rabanne, Yves Saint Laurent's Y, and a few other new releases. So I have a few on my radar. There's Mont Blanc Legend Night, which is coming out soon. I know he's dying to get that. But it's always the new releases.
Yeah.
And in terms of the setup, I'm always looking to upgrade, but it's so darn expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
slowly but surely.
One thing I will say, as someone who teaches English, the word exclusive does not mean what most YouTube reviewers think it means.
That's true.
Unless you have the rights to that video or that fragrance, you don't have an exclusive.
Right.
You may have the first take.
Yeah.
I changed mine thanks to
Oh.
that comment.
I mentioned this before because I still see people, I've got an exclusive. No, you don't. So now, getting to a few more
Oh my
fragrance-related questions.
God. Do I have that language coming with
You
me?
will. Yes, Carlos. That's
Fine.
why we're doing this one first, so you can listen and pay attention and have your answers ready.
Ah!
All right. So these, I'm going to give you some notes. I want you to think of the definitive fragrance that matches these notes.
Okay.
So what is your definitive incense?
Interlude Man by Amouage.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
What about woody?
Oh man. Let's say Tom Ford's Oud Wood.
Okay. Old school.
Oh gosh. Does Cool Water count?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with cool water.
Okay. Your definitive spicy fragrance.
Spicy.
Black gold.
I'm gonna go with Tea for Two by Redolessence.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Interesting. You don't like tea for two? He's not getting a video now. Your definitive Freshie.
Oh,
Wait your turn.
I'm with you. See what it says. Aqua. Invictus Aqua.
No. Freshie. Let me go with Millesime Imperial.
Okay.
Yeah.
As much. And your definitive Floral.
Dior.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I would have gone with an actual feminine fragrance there.
Right.
But
Right.
that's interesting. Last question. Last question. This is one that always has boggled my mind.
Okay.
So I don't even know if there is a right answer. I'm sure there is a technical right answer to this, but define aromatic.
Wow. For me, aromatic is herbal. I use that. I've seen that being used a lot in conjunction with lavender before.
Okay.
And I remember going on Fragrantica, and I was looking up the olfactory profiles of a few different notes, and you'll see it says, dark, or it'll say fruity. And for a lot of the herbal notes, it would use aromatic as a classification. So whenever I've used aromatic, I've always used it to reference either some sort of herbal or culinary note, or even lavender. But for me, aromatic, it just comes from the word aroma.
Right.
And it's like anything that has a smell.
Yeah.
So, yes, colloquially, that's how I've always used it.
Yeah, it's such a strange term to me that actually has a certain definition in the fragrance arts, but
Yeah.
it's hard to pin down on what it actually is. It's kind of like nailing what amber is,
Right.
because amber is different for everybody because it's a fantasy note
It's true.
that we just think of it. There's no definitive amber, so.
Right.
But thank you so very much.
Yeah, my pleasure, Jason. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'll have a link down to his channel below, and thank you very much. And
My
we
pleasure.
will talk to you soon.
Take care, everybody.